infections and lower your ability to fight them. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or coughs, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Nothing is everything.
Now is the time to ask your dermatologist about Skyrizi.
Hey, do not miss the return of Dancing with the Stars this fall.
All right, and Kev, I hope you're ready to shake your thing because we have got the debut of our Smize Cream song and dance. Our Smize Cream choreographer extraordinaire, Hollywood is here to teach you.
Okay, Hollywood, let's get to it. I'm ready to do it.
Let's do it. Well, this is part of the challenge. All you want to do is place this pin of ice cream right on your head.
Okay, ice cream on the head.
Happening now.
Curiosity and quick thinking saved a Northwest Side woman from harm last night. The homeowner walks us through the crash that left a hole in her bedroom.
Record numbers of people are gassing up and hitting the roads for 4th of July holidays. Coming up, what you can expect to pay and when's the best time to leave.
Not much on the radar this afternoon, however, we expect it to change. I'll talk more about when coming right up. The News at 5 starts right now.
A driver fleeing a crash and shooting scene plowed through a fence and into a woman's bedroom last night in the Great Northwest neighborhood near Leon Valley.
That incident happened just before 10:30 last night at a home located off of Wellwood Street, not far from Grissom and Tezel Roads. Garrett Berger talked with a homeowner whose curiosity may have saved her life.
When I bought the house, I didn't really care for the alley. I always thought something like this could have happened. It finally did.
Maria Morales was almost asleep Wednesday night when a boom caused her dogs to bark.
And I didn't want to get up, but I said something told me to get up. I looked through the blinds, and I remember seeing on the alley here a lot of smoke.
As she peered into the night, she could hear a vehicle taking off. That was the black SUV police said had hit a car parked in a garage at a home farther up the alley, a home that was also struck by gunfire. As the driver tried to get away down the alley, they lost control. Ms. Morales says she saw the vehicle burst through her fence line, so she darted into the corner out of the way. As the vehicle came through the wall, she says it was stopped by her treadmill.
The treadmill kind of, I think, held him back, but at the same time, the car was stronger, so it pushed the bed, it pushed a chair.
Morales never got a good look at who was behind the wheel. The windows were tinted, she said, and she was preoccupied with ensuring her dogs were okay.
The chair where Missy finally jumped up because she was probably under there, sir. It's a good thing she didn't get crushed.
The driver was able to back out and drive off, minus their bumper, leaving Morales shaken but uninjured. Though she can't say the same would be true if she had stayed in bed.
I would have gone injured, probably.
And even her luck in getting out of the way, she thinks shows a divine touch.
It's God, you know, He protected me. That's what I truly believe. He saved me.
Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Fire officials are looking into the cause of an apartment fire from the north side today. It happened just after 11:30 this morning at the Blair at Bitters Apartments off West Bitters Road, not far from Highway 281. Fire officials say the fire was in a small pool house. Fire crews were able to put it out quickly before it spread to any neighboring apartment units. The total cost of the damage is unknown at this time.
San Antonio police need your help looking for a driver accused of hitting and killing a bicyclist on the Northwest Side last month. Details about that driver are limited right now. However, police have this description of the vehicle they were driving. It's on your screen, a 2015 maroon Toyota Avalon. That crash happening back on June 4th at the intersection of Huebner and Babcock. That's where police say the driver allegedly ran a red light and hit 63-year-old Carlos Gonzalez. Anyone with information about this case asked to call Crime Stoppers. Their number 210-224-STOP.
Making headlines today, the Supreme Court ruling today that Arizona's more restrictive voting laws do not violate the Voting Rights Act. In a 6-3 decision, the justices upheld two provisions of the state law. In-person ballots cast at the wrong precinct on Election Day must be discarded, and limitations to who can deliver another person's completed ballot. We spoke with a constitutional law expert at the St. Mary's School of Law to see how this ruling will affect the voting bill that's headed to a special session here in Texas.
The opinion does make it harder to attack the new voting rules and will make it a little bit easier for the state to defend them.
If SB 7 is revived after Democratic lawmakers broke quorum, derailing the bill back in May, Kaufman says even the new version will likely trigger lawsuits by groups like LULAC, MALDEF, and the NAACP. He says the U.S. Supreme Court opinion upheld voting restrictions, yet at the same time laid out steps about how to challenge them. We'll have more about today's decision coming up at 6.
In just a few months, Taco Cabana will be under new ownership. The Mexican restaurant chain was bought by the same company that runs the Jack in the Box franchises. Fiesta Restaurant Group Incorporated sold the chain to YTC Enterprises LLC for $85 million in cash. The new ownership is an affiliate to another company that operates Denny's, TGI Fridays, and El Pollo Loco. Fiesta Restaurant Group plans to now focus on its Pollo Tropical restaurant. Taco Cabana was founded right here in San Antonio back in 1978.
A safe return to the United States. A bipartisan group of Congress members writing a letter to the U.S. Secretary of State urging him to use all diplomatic means to ensure Paul Rusesabagina can get back to U.S. soil. Rusesabagina took in over hundreds of refugees, saving them from genocide back in 1994. He was the inspiration for the film Hotel Rwanda. He lives in San Antonio, but right now is being held in continued detention by the Rwandan government on terrorist charges. The letter has been signed by over 40 members of Congress, including Congressman Joaquin Castro, Tony Gonzalez, and Senator John Cornyn. The letter reads in part, quote, "We continue to have serious concerns with the extrajudicial means used by the Rwandan government to detain Mr. Rusesabagina, and reports from his family and his foundation that the Rwandan government is refusing to grant him access to international counsel," end quote. The letter goes on to describe his living conditions and asks what the U.S. plans to do to help.
Miscarriage during the pandemic. It is a difficult topic to discuss, but coming up tonight at 6, we will share the story of a local family that is still healing after losing a child, and they hope their story will inspire others to never give up.
Well, it is now officially a week since the condo building collapse in Surfside, Florida, and today the search for survivors is on a temporary pause. This move comes after structural engineers say parts of the building still standing could collapse, creating a dangerous situation for rescuers. Engineers and experts are now working to determine when the search can resume. During the pause, President Joe Biden took time from his schedule to fly down and visit with families of the victims and first responders.
What you're doing now is just hard as hell to deal with, even psychologically, to deal with. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
So far, 18 people have been confirmed dead, including 2 children, and 145 people are still unaccounted for.
Not as much activity on the radar screen this afternoon, but we have one little downpour out there. This is basically that 10% that we were talking about for today, and that's in eastern Bandera County, basically clipping Pipe Creek, coming in from Kendall County. Shouldn't last all that much longer, but it's got a nice little downpour with it for some of the lawns and gardens west of San Antonio. Otherwise, very quiet on the radar, just 1 or 2 hit or miss little showers. Temperature-wise, 99 in Warren's backyard in Del Rio, 88 though in Rock Springs. 91 right now in Floresville, Seguin 91, and you look locally, Windcrest 92, 89 meanwhile in Bulverde. So this evening pretty quiet, actually mostly clear, especially once we see that sun set, and temperatures right near average, mid 80s at 10 o'clock. You'll notice the mugginess, and you'll also notice more activity on the radar screen in the days ahead. We're going to talk about that and our fluctuating rain chances coming up.
Thank you, Adam. Many people already starting their 4th of July holiday getaways.
Samuel King joins us now. And Samuel, are there any trouble spots out there right now?
There are quite a few, Tim and Easties. Let's take a look here. This is I-10 at Loop 1604 on the east side. There's been some construction overnight this week, and we're also seeing some heavy traffic. This is heading eastbound out toward Seguin. So let's take a look at that here on the map. So I-10 eastbound to Loop 1604. There's some construction here beginning overnight, but you can already see traffic down to 14 miles per hour. Looking at other parts of the area, lots of red on the map here. This is Loop 410 at I-10, the Crossroads area. There's a crash there causing a slowdown. And New Braunfels, we had some emergency construction here north of New Braunfels on 35, and we're still seeing that impact this afternoon. So taking a look at travel times, you're heading away from San Antonio, 43 minutes to get this to Seguin right now. So that's not what we like to see this time of year. 25 minutes heading out to Bernie right now. The big issues, of course, again on I-10 east heading towards Seguin and Loop 410 in a Crossroads. And we'll be watching it throughout the evening. Tim and Easy's.
Busy night out there. Thank you, Samuel. If you are about to pack up your car and head out for the long Independence Day weekend, expect to share the road.
Oh, yeah. After the year we had, record numbers of people are expected to head to the beaches, the parks, and other getaways.
And as 12 on your sides, Marilyn Moritz tells us they'll have to dig a little deeper to gas up and go.
Free from the pandemic's grip, folks are gassing up for star-spangled road trips. Rick Yambo is riverbound.
But you got to get out. Oh, yeah. It's not work all the time.
He can expect a 4th of July parade of traffic.
This July 4th holiday period will actually be the busiest on record. We're going to have 3.7 million Texans that are expected to travel for leisure. That's even higher than what we saw in 2019.
And most by car, truck, and family SUV. Also surging, the price of gas. Locally up 12 cents in just the past week and 90 cents higher than last year when travel bit the dust. Average now is $2.75 a gallon. $44 for 16 gallons. These are the highest prices we've paid in 7 years. Still, Texans are paying some of the cheapest gas prices in the country.
I've been driving since it was $3.50, almost $4. Anything less than that is a good day.
Despite a lot of pent-up wanderlust, we found plenty of people content to stay put and celebrate at home. Not hitting the road, though.
No.
No, why not?
They're going up. So I'm staying home.
If you are traveling, AAA says the worst time for traffic is late afternoon Friday. The best time to leave, tonight or early mornings.
I always go early out to avoid traffic. That's the better way.
Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Sticking with holiday travel, over in Port Aransas, they are ready for a busy crowd as the holiday celebration continues to ramp up. The CEO of the Port Aransas Tourism Bureau Chamber of Commerce says they saw record-setting numbers of tourists during the Memorial Day weekend, and they certainly expect the same for the 4th of July. He says the best way to experience all that there is to offer is to plan ahead.
The celebration begins really now. Today, a lot of folks are coming into Port A. They'll be coming in all through the weekend. A lot of people come down with families and friends and fish for the 4th. We also have a lot of cruises, so a lot of in fact, firework cruises are being offered.
One more holiday note. Don't forget, we have a full list of different 4th of July fireworks displays in San Antonio and surrounding areas, including Bernie, Helotes, Fredericksburg, and Kerrville, just to name a few. Just head over to KSAT.com to check it out. Still ahead on the news at 5, temperatures we are used to down south are causing deaths around the Pacific Northwest. How areas there are combating the week of extreme heat.
And next, why robocalls disguised with a local area code could be a thing of the past. The Federal Communications Commission is stepping up to help put an end to robocalls from numbers that look local. The FCC has implemented a new anti-spoofing system called Stir Shaken to honor spy James Bond. It helps verify phone numbers to ensure what shows up on your caller ID is actually the number that is calling you. The 3 major U.S. carriers, T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T, say they've adopted the new protocol. However, officials still warn that consumers should remain vigilant against scammers.
The death toll from the past week's historic heat wave continuing to climb, and today, because of the impacts of those extreme temperatures, Oregon is declaring a state of emergency. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez reports tonight from Los Angeles.
Record-shattering temperatures in the Pacific Northwest now blamed for dozens of deaths. At least 76 people died of heat-related issues in the past week in Oregon and Washington state, where it got as hot as 118 degrees in places. Nearly 100 more deaths were reported in British Columbia, Canada.
It certainly was a disaster response of sorts.
Many emergency rooms saw a huge influx of patients during the unprecedented heat wave, and at least one county reported the highest number of 911 calls for medical emergencies ever.
I felt so sick on the first day of it, so then I could only imagine.
The scorching temperatures leaving bone-dry conditions that are, in part, fueling more than 40 wildfires in the West, some prompting evacuation orders. The fire danger so concerning in Oregon, the governor declaring a state of emergency. Experts say the kind of historic heat wave that hit the Pacific Northwest would normally only happen once every 1,000 years. But they say with global warming, these extreme weather events are likely to happen more often.
Several people were talking here about, well, now we finally believe in climate change is real.
Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Meantime, back here at home, let's take a live look outside with live cam over the Alamo this evening. 92 degrees, which feels, it feels like a little bit of a break from the heat, 92.
You know, it hasn't been that bad lately. And we've been very fortunate lately to have temperatures that have really been in check because of our daily pop-up showers and thunderstorms and even just the leftover clouds and outflows associated with them. Radar screen fairly quiet this evening. We'll get to it in a second, but I do want to show you, first of all, our rain chances going forward. Tomorrow's going to be a lot like today, maybe a stray shower or two, just a couple of them popping up on the radar in the afternoon. We ramp it up a bit into the weekend up to 40%, and then next week we're making that leap on Monday up to 60%. So this is a good weather pattern for this time of year. This is what we like to see. Okay, let's take a look at the radar at the moment. And really not a lot out there, a little bit closer to the coastline as is typical. And also in eastern Bandera County, basically right near and over Pipe Creek. That's where we have some of the activity, some downpours there. And it's highly isolated in nature, pretty heavy, but highly isolated right along 46. There you have it. That's the one downpour. Bergheim, congratulations. You have a very brief little shower that popped up. Really just highly isolated in nature, even along the coastline. DeWitt County, seeing a few downpours around Cuero, but not much to speak of. And all this activity is going to be coming to an end as that sun gets lower over the next couple of hours and we lose our daytime heating. Splash, dash, and dissipate. That's what we've been dealing with. And overall, the state of Texas, not as active today. Upper level ridge, the big blue H, is settling in just for a couple of days, but this is going to break down and weaken and move out. So for Saturday, we get back into the routine that we were in of those daily pop-up afternoon showers and a few thunderstorms. That's for the whole weekend. Then we get into next week, and with the big blue H out of our area, it opens the door for a disturbance, and it looks like we'll have that disturbance come overhead, and that upper level disturbance will stir things up and enhance those rain chances. That's why we popped them up to 60% into next week, Monday through Wednesday. But I want to talk a little bit about the weekend rain. As you're making weekend and 4th of July plans, keep in mind these are just brief downpours, minimal lightning. Some of them don't even have any lightning. So if you're in the pool, you can actually stay in the pool. Remember, lightning causes thunder. So if you hear thunder, that's when it's time to go inside. Otherwise, it's the kind of rain you can kind of play in and have a good time. Nothing severe, and they typically end a little before sunset. That is through the 4th of July. But we also have a tropical system to talk about. This is out in the Atlantic, and Tropical Storm Elsa. Right now, max sustained winds at 45 miles per hour, a few gusts up to 60. This is likely to stay tropical storm strength as it heads into the Caribbean and then somewhere near the Florida Peninsula, maybe even over Florida by the early part of next week, late Monday on into early Tuesday. So that's what we're watching. Should stay far away from Texas. 91 right now. Dew point is 70, so it feels like it's 97. Castroville's 93. Bulverde 89, along with Canyon Lake and Stinson checking in at 94. And even south and west of town, we're not talking triple digits. Often we are this time of year, at least not today. Tomorrow, I think we will along the Rio Grande. So let's talk about temperatures. Tomorrow morning, mid-70s. By the noon hour, right near 90. In the mid-90s for a high a lot like today, just that rogue 10% chance, which is like what we're seeing on the radar now. But you get out along the Rio Grande, Del Rio 100, Eagle Pass 96, Laredo 98 for the high, Elmendorf about 95, Bernie 92 tomorrow afternoon, and Converse 93. We talked about the rainfall chances, how they get back up to the scattered afternoon downpours Saturday and Sunday. Then next week, more numerous and not just confined to the afternoons. We'll have more opportunities. We like to hear that, don't we?
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Adam.
All right, Larry, Keldon Johnson from the Spurs is not on the men's Olympic basketball team, but he's on the team that will help them get ready.
Yeah, what a great honor for Keldon Johnson, who just finished his second season in the NBA. He was selected to the USA men's select team, so he's going to help the big boys train. And the Suns' Chris Paul got shoved, and then he got the last laugh last night. Coming up.
Definitely like a blessing, and honor, and I mean, it's so crazy. Like this stuff, like you dream about as a kid, but now it's coming to reality. So I'm just gonna go out there and give it everything I got, you know, and just leave the best impression of Keldon Johnson out there.
Keldon Johnson is ready to wear the red, white, and blue in big board sports. Spurs forward Keldon Johnson was named to the 2021 USA men's select team that will train with the USA basketball men's national team during its Las Vegas training camp next week. Keldon is one of 17 players on the roster, which features 12 players who just completed either their first or second NBA season. And Keldon is thrilled to help the national team get ready for the summer games.
It's definitely an honor, you know, to be just a part of getting the Olympians prepared to go to Tokyo. You know, I mean, I get to go help my country in the Olympics, whether it's a small role or a big role. I feel like that I get to go out there and help the team and make them better. So, I mean, it's an honor and a blessing to be able to be a part of that.
Congrats to Keldon. Led by point guard Chris Paul, the Phoenix Suns finished off the Clippers last night 130-103 to win the Western Conference Finals in 6 games. CP3 tied his playoff career high, 41 points, advancing to the NBA Finals for the first time in his 16-year career. Late in the fourth quarter, Paul made a 3-ball, and the Suns go up 118-92. Timeout Clippers. During the stoppage of play, Clippers' Patrick Beverley shoved Chris from behind, knocking him to the floor. And I'm not sure what was said or done to provoke that, but his loss of composure got Beverley ejected from the game. Paul knew that shove meant series over with.
Over the years, you know, people talk junk to me, and a lot of times I usually say something back, but I done changed a little, a little. And I just kept thinking, you know what I mean? If we do what we're supposed to do, I get the last laugh. You know what I mean? So you stay the course long enough, you break them. And that's what we did.
After the game, Beverly tweeted to CP3 saying, "Emotions got the best of me last night, gang. My bad, wasn't meant for you. Congrats on making it to the finals. Best of luck." And Milwaukee Bucks leading scorer Giannis Antetokounmpo is out for Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals tonight against Atlanta, and that series is tied at 2-2.
Makes things interesting.
It does.
Thank you, Larry.
We'll be right back.
Hey, if you're headed to the beach this weekend, I know a lot of people going to the shore. Near 90 degrees for high temperatures. A few pop-up afternoon showers expected as usual near the coastline. And as for the winds, out of the south-southeast at about 10, so about 2 to 3 foot waves. That's on the Gulf side.
Thank you, Adam, and thanks so much for watching the News at 5.
World News is next. We'll see you back here for more local news at 6.